afternoon to everyone. Could I have everyone's attention, please? Well, happy Earth Day. This is what started off to be kind of a cloudy, dreary day has really brightened up for this ribbon cutting ceremony. And today marks 40 years of Earth Day, so it's very appropriate that we're doing this ribbon cutting today. And I want to thank everyone that has attended, but most importantly, I want to thank Dave and Carol Boyer, who really have been a foundation or a rock through this, and has done a tremendous amount of work and coordination. And certainly there's a lot of other people that have been involved, and I know that Dave is going to recognize them. But on behalf of our town board, on behalf of your town board, we just are delighted that this project has come together. This has been something that when it was talked about early on, I think there was some skepticism as to what does this mean and how's it going to work. And Dave and Carol really have had a lot of faith through this and to bring this about. And this is going to be not only great for the community, and I've said a number of times that Penfield and community are synonymous, but this is going to be a great educational tool. This is going to be a tool that is going to help not only our young people, but all the way through. And we're just delighted to be part of it, the town, in some small way, to try to help bring this to fruition. So I'd like to just, at this point, turn this over to Dave. Thank you, and certainly we appreciate everyone being here today.
Okay. You went a little out of order, but that's okay.
Oh, sorry, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't a pun when he said rock, because there's certainly plenty of them here. Well, Carol and I just want to thank the organizations and the people who have been key in helping us get this far. We started with the idea last March and kind of thought through stuff and tried to get some stuff, and then Bob Ainsworth, who's the director of Parks and Facilities, said, gee, we got this plot of land sitting out here that nobody's used, how about that? And that kind of started the ball rolling, and then we kind of went from there. So some of the organizations and the people that have been very, very helpful is Vermigreen Organic Fertilizer. That's Ryan Herberly. He and his company gave the 2 raised beds that are back there. They filled it with organic soil, and they also helped us remove a bunch of tree roots. There was a bunch of trash trees in here that got cut down. And then Terry Roffus, farmer here in the local area, he helped us clearing, plowing, disking, and then his latest donation was 22 bales of straw, as you can see laid out there where the grass seed is. Waste Management donated 3 of these 3-wheel containers back here, these green ones. That's where we're going to have the water storage so that we can water our plants and stuff. Troop 31, which is my old troop, Nathan Moynihan designed and constructed the arbor there as a Eagle project, and he got all his cohorts to come out here and build it for him, so that was a big help. Countryway Garden Center, Tony and Michelle SLOMINSKI are here, and they're going to help us with a tree here. They've donated the plants that are in the raised beds, topsoil. They gave a seminar over at the community center. They rototilled all this up for us, removed a bunch of rocks, and I mean rocks, big dudes, and then this red maple and some seedlings that they're going to give out today. We also got the loan of a bobcat to remove some of the large rocks from one of the local businesses. And then Harris Seed Nursery, all these beautiful flowers, where they donated all the bulbs for those. And fortunately, one of our cohorts, Gordy here, kept the deer away by putting some stuff around so they wouldn't come in. So they came up nice and pretty for the spring. Carol's going to go over the rest of them.
I just want to tell you how we are so thankful that so many people have helped us. We have a wonderful committee, too, that has worked with us from the very start. And for all those people, we want to thank them, too. They've been just worked hard and come out to work and made phone calls and done all kinds of wonderful things to help. So thank the committee, too. Peter Herman Pallets out in Marion donated all the boards to be used for staking. Nazareth College incoming freshmen used this plot of land for their 2009 project. A group of kids came out and worked real hard to help remove rocks. The town of Penfield, we can't thank you all enough because this is a dream come true for Dave and I think for a lot of people who enjoy gardening and want to make Penfield a fun place for their kids to come and enjoy too. The Parks and Recreation Facilities Department has offered to mow the garden, and they put a nice picnic bench out here for us. The Highway Department installed this nice parking lot, the crushed stone, and is working on the water meter for us. The Rec Department support for the establishment of the garden, the publicity, the oversight, and the signage that we're working on. Julie Tolar has worked very hard doing all the mapping for us for the garden, and we couldn't have done it without her. Of course, like I say, we've had 35 members volunteer from the community to help on our committee, and we just want to thank them. The Penfield residents who have rented almost 72 beds for our first year, and we just think that's phenomenal. We're so pleased about that. And today we have Joanne and Emily Cole, who used to be Schraders, that are here with us today. They were former owners of this property years ago. I think you grew flowers here, didn't you?
At one time there was a trial garden, 1 acre, right across the street from the house.
Right.
That my grandparents planted by hand, I believe, cultivated.
So here we are doing much of the same thing in Penfield that was done many years ago. So thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it, and I know Country Way appreciates everybody coming and seeing this beautiful tree that they're going to plant for our bicentennial too. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Linda Cole, and I'm chairing the Bicentennial Committee this year. And I want to, thank Dave Boyer, Carol Boyer, everybody that's been working on this community garden. It's exciting that it's happening during our bicentennial year because it's truly a community event, and everything that Dave and Carol, all the people that have been involved in it, truly shows how much the community came together for this. And the tree, I think it's really great that the Countryway Nursery is donating a red maple tree over here for the Victory Garden, because we named that this year as our official town tree for the bicentennial. And we appreciate all they're giving out 200 seedlings for our 200 years, so that's a real a nice benefit for today in the celebration. So I thank you all for coming, and I thank Dave and Carol and everybody that's been involved in this and doing this, especially in the year of our celebration of our rural character. This is it. This is part of it. And we had so many of the people involved, their offices, for instance, that are part of Old Penfield, Generation Strong, our theme, and it comes together with this Victory Garden. So thank you all.
Thank you. What better way to celebrate Earth Day 2010 than with this grand opening of the Town of Penfield Victory Garden? And this community garden, we know, will provide an opportunity for the Penfield residents to grow their own organic vegetables, flowers, herbs, for their own consumption, as well as for the needy here in Penfield and other areas. This new green initiative will also provide for educational activities and to teach gardening, composting, and healthy soil use for young and old alike. So I would especially like to thank Carol and Dave Boyer for this last year that has gone into this making of this, to make this a reality today. All their hard work, from their weekly meetings that they told you about with the town staff, to coordinating volunteers, getting businesses donations. Their love of Penfield really has driven this community garden to a reality today. So as I've driven by here many times, I've seen Dave out here working. Carol was painting out on there. I've seen Terry Rothfuss, and Kathy Knowlton's here today. Her son Mark was out here working also, so clearing the parcel for all of us here, and all the other volunteers that you mentioned too. So many, too many to mention. So I'm happy to present today on behalf of Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks and the Monroe County Legislature. I'm pleased to present a proclamation to you today into the town of Penfield on the grand opening of your Victory Garden. So thank you all.
taking into account where the leader was, and of course where the a good location for it to live its life out would be. Turning the branching so that it would hopefully mature in a nice even way. He's cutting away the burlap right now, and any cords. When we install them, we usually pull the wire basket away also. But one thing you'll notice while he's doing this, the hole is not real deep. He did not disrupt the soil below the root ball. One of the biggest errors in planting a tree is digging the hole too deep and then backfilling. You put the tree on it and it compacts, it sinks, and you end up with a tree planted too deep without really meaning it. So twice as wide, the same depth, okay? It's really important to make sure that you don't have the trunk wood underground. All right, so this, if you look at the original ground here, we're going to be good, right? Go up a little bit.
One of the things that I do is when we have a balled and burlap tree, there's a lot of soil that sometimes gets cultivated up on the trunk. So I carefully just kind of shave a little bit of the soil from the top of the root ball. Now you wouldn't do this in a container type tree, but in balled and burlap it's kind of important. You want to find out where that root flare is.
Root flare, where it starts to go like this. If you look around places, you'll see trees that are planted incorrectly. They look like telephone poles coming straight up out of the ground. It's too deep. Well, it's a very slow demise to the tree. Instead, you should see it come down. Like, you already drew a tree when you were a little kid, you drew it and it came flaring out a little. That should be where the soil line is.
There's the root flare right here. That should not be below soil line. And, you know, mulch should only come up 2-3 inches on it. It should never be mounded. So often in this profession we see little volcanoes. It's not proper.
No mulch volcanoes.
So anyway, we are at the proper depth for this. What we'll do is throw some soil in the hole now, make sure it's kind of packed in there good, and we'll add some the compost to it.
Need that help?
Hey,
here you go.
Right? All right. Filling her in a little bit.
To volunteer or for more information on Penfield's Community Victory Garden, contact Sabrina Renner in the Penfield Recreation Department at 585-340-8651. Additional information is also available on the town's website, penfield.org.